Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1973's Florida film, The Bride's Initiation. The Bride's Initiation. You know, a lot of times, I just think the majority of these golden age adult films were done in California, you know, either LA or San Francisco, but this one was done in Florida. You can even see it on a license plate somewhere in the film. This is 1973's The Bride's Initiation, and it says she tasted the erotic delights of forbidden pleasure rituals. Here it is, folks, and this is put out by Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you so much, Vinegar Syndrome, for putting this movie out. Here is the back. Here are a couple screenshots right here. And in this particular film, you can see on the cover here, we do have Carol Connors from The Adventures of Candy and Candy Goes to Hollywood, which you can see both my videos on those two films on this YouTube page. And we also have Jack Birch. Thora Birch's dad and the husband of Carol Connors in this film as well. Now, this is The Bride's Initiation, 1973, 70 minutes long. So let's get into this absolutely fascinating, mind-bending, boundary-breaking piece of cinema right here, folks. You know, a lot of the times you might hear people say, okay, you know, I'm just not into adult films. I'm not into X-rated cinema. I'm not into sex cinema. But I like cult films. I like weird films. I like bizarre films. I like violent films. I like disturbing films. Or I like films that push the boundaries. Some people might like art house, or they just might like stuff that is like a, you know, WTF. What am I watching? What is this? Let The Bride's Initiation be your gateway cinema drug into the world of adult films. If you are truly someone who wants boundaryless cinema, who wants movies unlike anything you've ever seen before, and obviously is okay with hardcore real sex, let The Bride's Initiation really be that gateway for you, because this film exists in its own world. This movie is truly shows you how X-rated cinema, adult cinema, the golden age here, 1973, how this cinema, how these movies can truly break the boundaries of genre, that can truly be experimental, truly do something different, something you haven't seen before, something unique, something where your jaw will just open in disbelief. Within this film, we have the genres of horror, comedy, and the bizarre, the surreal. Now, within those genres right there, folks, we have obviously also the sex genre as well. And within these worlds represented here, we have torture, body mutilation, and some gore, some blood. We have a witch concocting formulas using male ejaculate, a very warty witch. We have a naked Dracula, who's quite possibly one of the most entertaining and outrageous Draculas I've seen. You know, you have the classic Draculas, you have Bela Lugosi, you have Christopher Lee, okay? When you watch The Bride's Initiation, you're getting an entirely different kind of Dracula, and you're seeing someone, though, that is so dead serious about who he's playing, what he's doing, how he's doing it, what words are coming out of his mouth, the inflections of his language, the inflections of his nonverbal language, of his the flipping of his cape and asking, talking to his assistants and yelling at the witch. We have a detective case in the film. We have an abduction and kidnapping. We have the aspect of virginity. We have the aspects of rape. And the element of unbridled sexuality for 400 years in the world of Dracula. What we are doing here is we have another world. We have another corner of the world in this castle, somewhere in the normal area, a man named Dracula, and he is existing in his own world with his own tortured captives and his own somewhat tortured assistants also, and a mysterious limousine driver. We have newlyweds in this film as well. And there's something very interesting in regards to the horror, the unique storyline horror element of the newlyweds. And I don't want to say too much, but just the way, I've never quite seen something like this in a kind of a standard horror film involving newlyweds before. Very well done, involving post-wedding bliss. The music for the bride's initiation is really of the orchestrated variety. We have classical music. We have classical music that sounds elegant. We have wedding, the traditional wedding music that you will hear in the menu screen of the film. For this Vinegar Syndrome release. But then you also have kind of darkly old-fashioned horror, dramatic, classical orchestrated music as well in The Bride's Initiation. Very fascinatingly, this film is dominated by classical music, and the way that it is used kind of mixed with the shock and the outrageousness and the horror and the comedy and the bizarre and the weirdness, almost the slightly surreal nature of the film really gives you even more of a unique environment. When we look at the style of the film, when you push play and you start to watch this film in the first 5 minutes, you can see already that there's some very unique, very cool style going on here, just in the way the title sequence enters into the film in the first couple minutes. Very stylish. We have some up-close shots of eyes. We have some edits, some quick edits, kind of flipping between eyes. Great work with shadows at night within an apartment, Variety Apartments, number 539. I saw the address, tried to look it up, but I couldn't find the apartment complex anymore. I don't know if it's still around, or maybe I need to look it up a little bit better. And very, very unique set design. This it's this bizarre way pre Tim Burton, low budget Tim Burton hallway worlds mixed with a dirty mattress and blackened walls and the interesting thing is we have a coffin, and we have this gray black dramatic Dracula makeup. Interesting thing is we have this juxtaposition throughout the entire film of every time you leave Dracula's rooms, it's really 2 rooms, it looks like, within his castle that we are involved with. It's daytime outside with palm trees. And horror takes place at daytime also, outside. But it's always daytime. when you're outside. But then when you're inside of Dracula's headquarters, you really don't know where, what you lose all track of time. Um, and there's definitely a surreal nature to the editing style for the film, and there some great blowjob scenes in the film, in the back of a limo, and in particular, but great blowjob scenes in the film. And really, primarily, we have blowjob scenes in this movie, with one main sex scene in the film. And so, very uniquely, you have the sex, so the 70-minute film, but you also have a lot of other things going on here as well. Obviously, with sex as the story point. Now, I also have to mention there is truly outrageous, unbelievable dialogue in this film. There are a couple quotes in here that you could, end your every email with. Although you might want to be wary of who's on your email chain. But I got to tell you, some of the most unbelievable quotes. Again, entering into that world of adult cinema where anything goes and anything you say goes, and there, no worries about the MPAA here. So it's just outrageous. Should you laugh? Should you be shocked? Should you? It's just, is this bizarre? What's happening? We have this wild special effects sequence in the back of a limousine, which at first you're watching it and you're thinking, wait a minute, what's going on? What am I watching? And then all of a sudden you see what was going on, and it's just truly stupefying. There are so many things. There's this crazy twist ending to this film that ends in an elegant fashion with scrolling credits, and it's done powerfully, just like the intro title card is done powerfully to me with the edit and the style. We have a great, outrageous climax twist with style as well in this film. Carol Connors looks really young in the movie. She does not have a sex scene in the film, but she is naked, and which I thought she was going to have a sex scene, but we have a gothic environment. We have lit candles and a coffin and a witch and tortured, hanging naked ladies, and this is an excellent. If you're looking for something with a Halloween vibe, that's also a sex film. If you're looking for something that's just outrageous cult movie, if you're looking for something that is just, what the F am I watching? This is unbelievable. We got it right here. There are such... You're being pulled minute by minute in The Bride's Initiation by plot points, by storylines, by dialogue, by actions that are just wildly insane. We also have dark and disturbing things in this film as well, and we also have comedy, and we also have lighter horror or gothic horror as well. And I got to tell you, we spent some time in a police station with 2 rotary phones. It's just this is a wild movie, just wild. Never seen anything like it before. I thought Carol Connors was really hot in this film. Really long, straight blonde hair. She looked very different than she did in her Candy films. And I loved her in the Candy films, but she just had a totally different look here, and a real 70s look to her, like a 70s younger girl look. And she just looked awesome in here. And wow. The Bride's Initiation, 1973, 70 minutes long. Here it is, folks. The mysteriously unknown director as well. Here it is. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about... Wait a minute. Before I even... How about when the plot point involves sperm? Real sperm. What do you do with a storyline that involves real sperm? The Bride's Initiation. Adult film. X. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like 1973's The Bride's Initiation. Please feel free also to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. Poopy diarrhea. Thank you so much and good night.